Hey everyone, this is the tutorial from class. I've updated it slightly and streamlined a few parts of it. A few things I forgot to add. One particularly is if you press the space bar, you get the little hand tool, and you can slide the page around. It's really, really useful. There are chapter links to this in case you want to scroll back and forth and you don't want to scrub through the whole tutorial, or if you remember certain parts and just need a few key pointers. And thirdly, I'll provide the files either in the classroom or a link to my Google Drive, whichever one seems to work the easiest that you don't need any permissions to access them and download them. And finally, I've also included a link to a Envato tutorial. Envato is the stock image and sound effects place that we talked about last week. It's really a useful tool. The link for that, well, it's a 2 hour long video, so it's pretty lengthy, but it's well cataloged. So there's individual chapters that show really, really simply how to do these things. And then finally, a longer chapter at the end, similar to this video, how to put all the pieces together and build a more complex web page or prototype. So I have set up some artboards in Adobe XD, and what I'm going to do is basically auto-animate um, with three different effects between these different artboards. So let's take a quick look at what it looks like when it's played, and we can sort of give you an idea of what we're going to do, what our goal is at the end. Let's press the play button. Okay, for this, I use the keypad and triggers. Another version I did, I used the time function, but let's just use the keypad. And when I press the up arrow, we see there's a nice little transition in this organic shape. If I press the up arrow again, the people swim in from the side. The text in these little bars come in from the other side. We may or may not do these people in the final test or the final prototype, just because it was a little tricky to get these to work right, and I wasn't really happy with the result. And finally, if we press the up key, arrow key again, we get this cool little animation at the bottom. So it gives you an idea of how you could have use Auto-Animate on a website, make it kind of fun and interesting. Okay, so now we're in a new artboard. It's actually two artboards, and I will provide a link to these so you can download the files if you want to follow along. The uh, the artboard on the left would typically be like this might be your design system or all the assets that you want to use to build your page. You may have built these in Illustrator or pulled some images off the internet, maybe some fonts, some lockups of typefaces, logos, things like that. Maybe your color swatches too. You can also, build some library components, not component, library assets using these, and to speed up your process. But because this is a small, simple 3-page demonstration, we really don't need to do that. But I think one thing I want to do is actually change the name of the first artboard and double click on it. And I'm going to call that, let's zoom in and make sure that is, okay, that is artboard 2. I'm going to call that design system. System. There we go. And I'll zoom back out. And then the next page I am going to call landing page. Sorry, it's bad allergies today. And there's a helicopter in the distance. I don't know if you can hear that, but welcome to Atlanta, folks. It's allergy season. So yeah, we've got everything set up. So we've got all our components. That'll help us speed things along. What we want to start doing is this top one here. We need to group this. Hold the shift key to select both and group it. And really, these could be any typeface. It's up to you. I'm going to slide that out of the way too. Oh, there's a couple of them there. Cool. Okay. So we've got our photo. This is going to be our mask. And one thing I think that would be good to do with the mask is actually change the color of it to a bright, almost like a green color, just to sort of represent, sort of like a green screen idea. Anything inside this mask is going to be visible. Anything on the outside of it is going to not be seen. We're going to, the first thing we're going to do, we're going to put these shapes, this blob, this other blob, this woman, the surfer, and this text, and we're going to animate it inside this shape. So what we want to do that is we'll actually name the shapes. It's already named mask, which is cool. We are going to drag that. Actually, we'll copy and paste that to the next. So we'll Command C, copy and paste that to our landing page, and we're going to get it, put it up in the position that we want it. You know, and one thing I didn't do in the earlier version, I didn't add like what might be a navigation bar to the top of this page. So I'm going to add one now, and I'm going to make that, we'll get rid of the border on it, and we'll make it a fill of like a dark, maybe sort of like a dark blue color, darkish blue. And we're going to use, we'll probably, after we add this water at the very end, we're going to make this like a transparency of maybe like 80 or 90%. And it'll look pretty cool, and it'll have sort of more of the feeling of a website. And maybe we will pull this shape down a little bit. We'll see. We can play around with some of the sizes and shapes after we build the Auto-Animate, but getting things in the initial starting point is really important. Also making sure things are named correctly. So we got mask. Mask is on the top. And now we're going to bring in our other shapes. So we're going to copy that one and paste it. There we go. I'm going to copy this little guy and paste it over here. And you could cut them and paste them, but we are only going to need them once. But if this was a design system on the left, we would want that. We would want to save all of our assets on the board. So copying and pasting them between the two is really important. We will copy and paste this photo between the two. V. We are going to copy and paste this blue background between the two. V. And this little lockup of text here that says make some waves. We're going to copy that one and paste it in here as well. We'll focus on this animation first, and then we'll add the surfs up text afterward. Let's just kind of clean things up a bit here. Okay, so that's pretty good. The next thing we have to do, we want to rearrange the layers in the right order so that when it animates, everything ends up in the correct place. Now, with everything on this page, we can zoom in and kind of get a better idea of what we're looking at and move the layers around. So let's grab the magnifying glass tool and scoot some. We probably need to zoom out a little bit. Option, press the Option key to reverse the magnet. There, we can kind of see everything we've got there now. Things are not in the right order. But if you look at the menu on the left side that shows all the items on this page, you can slide around the different pieces. So we're going to move mask up to the very top. We need that to be in front. And in order to see what's behind the mask, we're going to make the transparency over here on the right. We're going to pull that down to like, that's like, 75%. There we go. So now we can see what is going on inside this mask. We're going to first get this out of the way. Cool, that looks, well, actually she needs to move down a little bit more. There we go. We want her kind of to the left. She's going to slide in to the left. We want her a little bit to the right to give it a little bit more motion. Then we're going to scoot this out of the way. Let's see, this needs to go in front of the woman. It is being called path 1 right now. Let's call that blue rectangle. Okay. We got surfer. We got blue blob. So blue blob needs to be in front of blue rectangle. Make some waves needs to be in front of everything else. Blue blob, the yellow and blue blobs, they don't, where they are, that's sort of up to you. Blue blob, blue rectangle, surfer, rectangle. Oh, we're going to call rectangle 3 menu. Oh, no, we'll call it nav, NAV, short for navigation. Okay, and that we want at the very, very top, even in front of the mask. Cool. So let's kind of scoot everything into their starting points. This blue block is going to be in front of the woman in the background. Then we're going to pull this yellow blob up here. Kind of just place that there. Maybe put the blue blob here. I think I want the yellow blob in front of the blue blob. It's up to you though. Maybe scoot that over there. Scoot that. This is just, these are artistic choices. I'm going to pull these really far down to the bottom so that when they auto-animate in, they start very low and move their way all the way across the top. Okay, now we can see that all of our components are all on the correct layers, and we can kind of move things around just so we can see that. You can see the woman's behind there. Everyone is in their correct starting point. What we want to do to make this all work together is this green layer here that we called mask. We're going to use this as a mask, as a shape mask, to actually hide everything that's sticking outside of it. It works just like the masking tool in Adobe Illustrator, if you're familiar with that. And we're just going to drag our cursor across everything. We're going to go to the object menu, and we're going to go mask with shape. Now it's really, really important that the shape that is your mask is on the front. The color will disappear once it becomes a mask, and you will only see the items that are behind the mask inside of it. And also be careful not to grab the navigation bar that we set up, because you don't want that in the mask. So let's do that. Cool. Well, we've got it. And as you can see, exactly what I said, the color disappears. Everything's inside here. You can get inside of the mask similar to a grouped object by double clicking on the shapes. And you can get in there and kind of double click through to like get down deeper inside. I don't know why I can't select that woman in the background right now, but you could shift things around to kind of get things, how get to them buried deep inside the mask. The other thing is we're going to use that same sort of process of selecting these individual pieces as a way and moving them around as a way to animate them. So let's click off of that. We got a good starting point here. I kind of like the way this looks. And we're going to create a new page. So I'm going to zoom out one more time. I think it's Command 0. Yeah. And I'm going to select this. First, you know what we want to do? Let's make this a component to auto-animate between two complex objects like this. This whole shape is going to need to be a component. So we will select it all, and then we will go to Command K and make it a component. So we have our first component. Let's just call that LP blob blob, just so we can identify it later, because there's a lot of pieces going on here. And we got that started, and then we are going to select this page, and we're just going to drag it over to a new page. That should be LP blob. Got the navigation in the correct place. So we got our components and everything all set up. And we could have made a new page here on the right and copy and pasted everything over. It was a little bit quicker to drag everything over. So yeah, that is where we are. And let's get started auto-animating these two pieces. Now we're going to zoom into our pages here that we've set up. and we are going to go in. We're going to go, let's change landing page, this to landing page 2. And we're going to double click on the first shape, the first landing page. We're going to get into its components, and we're going to slide that out of the way. And we want these in there. Okay, so we don't want to see make some waves in the first part of it. We're going to slide that down even a little bit further. Okay, and then we're going to go over to this page, and we are going to double click on this component. And we're going to move things where we sort of want them to end up. We're going to move that little blob up there. Move this blob over here. That's pretty cool. Actually, we wanted to make some waves to end up here. So let's leave make some waves there. And then we'll go back and fix it on the other page in a second. And then we're going to grab this big blue rectangle. Scoot. Let's see if we can scoot that up behind everything. Hide it behind these two blobby shapes up here. And we're going to take the photo of this woman and sort of move her into place a little bit more so you can see more of the surfboard. And we're going to drag this blue shape a little bit up more, and the blue rectangle up a little bit more. Oh, wait, she's got to come down a little bit further. There we go. So that, and actually she's got to come down a little bit further to be inside the mat. And we're going to shrink that photo down a little bit. I think we have some room to do that. Scoot it over some. Cool. So we're going to go from this shape here, and let's go back and in this first shape, move that type up in the make some wave section. And then we'll have to, I guess, go back to this one and scoot that type down. There we go. What do you think? Fade it out. Actually, let's scoot it up. Scoot it up as well, so everything moves up. Okay, so we've got our initial starting phase, and then we're going to have where we end up. Everything is all set and ready to go. So we have a couple different ways we can auto-animate this. The first way would be, with different types of triggers, we can go into, let's go into the prototype mode. We could start here, and we could drag this to this page, this little arrow here. Let's Alexa just answered me in the background. So let's auto-animate on a keyboard click. So here we are. We're on the landing page. We're gonna do we're going to just go between the two landing pages there. We've got our transitions. We're going to do our transition on the keyboard input, and we'll do the arrow going up. We're going to do a transition is Auto-Animate. We're going to choose the artboard, which is landing page 2. And let's do a duration. We're going to do a ease in, ease out of maybe 2 seconds. We can change all these as we go, and that should do it. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to go and we are going to play this, and hopefully it works. It doesn't always work, and sometimes it actually breaks. I've seen that happen quite a bit, and I have not figured out exactly what happens in that situation. And when I do, I will post a really, really quick, short video on how to fix it. So let's give this a try and see what happens. Scoot this little menu out of the way here. Click play. That did not work. Oh, we are on the design. So let's click on the landing page. We'll label that as home. When you're in the prototype mode, you can do that. And then it'll always really start there. So it'll be page 1 of the flow. So now we're ready to go. Let's click play. Let's press the arrow key. There we go. It animates. The cropping's a little weird. We could probably, pull that down or change the shape of it slightly. Maybe let's do that. So we'll turn this off. we're actually gonna take this whole shape, go back into design mode, and we're gonna scale the shape down as well. So the shape is actually, maybe we'll scale this shape a bit too. So now the shapes will actually blend together as well. We could even change the edge of the shape, that little curve there. We could actually go inside the mask. We cannot go inside the mask. Actually, I think we can click on mask. Click on the pen tool? No. Well, that's for another lesson. So let's play this again now that everything is above the fold. And we'll start on our page 1, play it again to see how it looks. So there we are. We see everything nice. Everything's above the fold. We're going to press the up arrow key and see what happens. Zoom. There she is. That's really, really cool. It's got a little bit of cropping issue at the bottom. Let's go in there and sort of fix that. Let's see if we can get her selected. Just her. No. See, oh, yeah, we're in design mode. We should be able to double, there we go. We're double clicked in. Let's drop her down just a tiny bit. There, that's fixed. Let's play it one more time to see if we fix the issue. Press the up arrow key. Yeah, there we go. That looks really, really nice. Okay. The next thing we're going to do a slide in from the side. We're going to go back to the first page. We're going to add the surf's up text on the side, and we're going to have that slide in. So we have the surfer woman inside of this shape. We've got it working how we want it. So the next thing we want to do is we want to have this surf's up type slide in from right to left, sort of create this nice little lockup. Right now it's white type down here. Let's change it to like a light blue. I think I pulled a light blue. I already made a light blue color over here. Sort of a light teal color. We're going to select both of those, slide them over to page 2 because that's where we want it to end up. The color is a little too light now. Let's just darken it. And we can always go in later and edit the color, even transition between 2 different colors. So we have these 2 shapes. Next thing we need to do is make them into a component. So select both of the shapes by dragging your cursor over the top of them. Then to make a component, you can drag down from object to make component here, or the shortcut is Command K. And let's undo that because there actually is this one strange little thing that sometimes when you drag something off the side of the page, it goes onto this gray area, which is the clipboard or the pasteboard, and it no longer can interact with the page. So I undid the component thing. We're going to add a third piece of art to this component, and we're going to color it in so we can see it. We're going to make this long little tab. It's kind of like you know, on those old pop-up books where you had a little tab to pull. It kind of functions the same way as that. We're going to make it so that we can see it right now. So let's pick out one of those bright green colors again. And after we get the animation to work, we're actually going to make it transparent. So that's cool. And why don't we just add our green screen color in there? So yeah, we've got this. Now we're going to make all 3 of these a component. This is a cool little hack that someone showed me the last time I taught this class. They're supposedly a way to do it without doing this, but I think this is a really clever hack that allows you to move things around at different speeds, off pages, and actually not lose your pieces. So we got everything together, and we're going to hit Command K. There we go. So we got the ending place, and we're going to copy this, Command C, and then we're going to put it on the first page. Command V, it'll be in the same place. And we're going to drag that way, way off so it slides in. So yeah, now it's you see just the green tab, and we're just gonna do a test to make sure it works. So let me scoot this little toolbar out of the way, and let's play it and see how it works. Press the button. There we go. And that tab actually could work. You know, it could disappear. It could be, but we really don't want that tab in. But the animation works. So what we're going to do now, we'll double click through to that tab. We're just going to pull the transparency down to 0 on both of them on each page. And then let's save it. Oh, I didn't give it a name yet. Surfing. I'm just randomly picking something. Okay, there we go. So we got the initial state that we're starting at. We're going to go to page 2, and we're going to play it. We're going to press the up key. That's our trigger. Slide things out. There we go. That is really nice. So we've got that worked out. So now we got our first 2 auto-animated components. Auto-animated, is that a word? I'm starting to get loopy. It was just a matter of time. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually do a scroll up, and we will have the words down here on our design system, destination unknown, slide in as well. So let's see. So here we are. We've got all of our animation working. Let's bring these in. Again, these are going to have to be made into components as well. But let's make sure they're not components. They're not. I think sometimes when things are made into components twice, that's where you run into some problems. So we're going to drag them on that artboard there. And then we're going to take this artboard, select it. We're going to duplicate. We're going to pull one to hold the Option key and the Shift key, and drag it to the side to duplicate it. And so now everything's lined up, and we have now this is page 2, landing page 2, and this is landing page 3. We're going to be animating between landing page 2 and landing page 3, and we're going to slide things up and have things slide in. So the first thing we want to do, since we've got everything here, actually, you know, we're going to delete these because we're going to have to use that same weird little box effect with these to the side. So we're going to create, again, some little pull tabs to the side. And let's zoom in so everyone can see this better. I'm going to create another pull tab here. Create another pull tab down here. We'll color those in. We'll get rid of the border, color them in our green screen effect. So these will allow the tabs to actually be slid completely off the page onto the pasteboard. We'll perfect the animation, the auto-animate, and then we will throw the transparency down to 0. So let's take this first top one. We could group it if we want. We'll group that. That might help a little bit. We'll group that one to the bottom one. Then we're going to convert these into components. So group 1, we will Command K, make that a component. That one, make that a component. So I think doing it this way and not having them on that second page is probably the best way to do it. And we're going to drag these components to the new page. We're going to kind of put them where we want them to end up. And then we're going to drag these components to their start position. So I'm going to hold the Shift key. I'm going to pull them off the page. And then I think I sort of want these to kind of come in sort of at different times. So I'm going to pull this one over even more. So they'll kind of come in different times. And then on this page, maybe shift this one over a little bit and shift this one over a little bit that way. Let's see. Okay, cool. So now what we're going to do here is we are going to auto-animate between these two pages to this page. Oh, you know what? And we also want these to move up. So we're going to take all of these pieces from page A to page, from page 2 to page 3. We're going to shift all of this up. slide all that up so that goes into the window. Slide that up some more. There we go. So now they're going to move up and over as they come in. And then we will go into prototype mode. We're going to click on the little prototype tab between the two pages. We're going to use game and keypads again. And we're going to add the up button, the arrow up button, Auto-Animate, choose artboard as landing page 3. Let's save it just to be safe. Oh man, look at that. I have this issue, this problem. I used the wrong button. The up key. There we go. For some reason, like I did the save button and it was still in the tab. And we're gonna do this. Check this. It's on games and keypads. Up arrow, ease out. There we go. Cool. Actually let's do a different effect. We're gonna do, instead of ease out, we're gonna do a bounce between two. I think that'll look kind of cool. Let's test it out. So I got looking at everything. Looks like everything's set up. We're gonna go back to home. We're gonna hit play. I just noticed something. We'll fix it in a second. That works. Going up again. Oh, crazy bounce. That bounce was a little bit insane, but it did work. Let's maybe change that. Let's see, our bounce here, ease in. Wait, our bounce here is it's pretty crazy. Let's do snap instead and see how that looks. So we'll try snap. We got this on the keyboard up, Auto-Animate, landing page 3. Let's play it again and see what happens. We're gonna press up we go. Cool. Yeah, snap looks a lot better. And actually, let's go back to page 1 and start there. Let's play it again. Up we go. Surf's up. Then up we go one more time. Cool little effect. And now we're going to get rid of our little green screen tabs. Actually, we got to go into prototype mode, get rid of our green screen tab. So we will slide that down to 0. Slide that down to 0. Slide that down to 0. And slide that down to 0. We will save this one more time. Play it one more time. Up we go. And it bounces in pretty cool. Let's go all the way back to the first page. Let's play it again. Make some waves. Surfs up. Destination unknown. Pretty cool. Okay, got destination unknown popping up. We are going to want to create our third page. And so we are going to select the page and we're going to do the old option shift drag over to the side. Use our little pink column guides. Hold the keyboard over to kind of slide it over so we can see everything. Destination unknown is in the correct place. And then we're going to zoom back out. And we're going to grab these two little shapes down here. We're probably going to need to modify this shape. Maybe not. Well, let's check that out. We're going to drag this and actually hold the option key all the way up here. So now we're going to be going between this page and this page. We also bring in See Life differently. We're going to have to slide that on there as well. I'm going to shift, hold the option key, bring this up here. So that is, this is kind of like where the endpoint is that we want, though up higher on the page. We're also going to have to do our little green screen tab on some of this type so we can pull it completely off the page. So let's get this here. Let's build our components. We got that one, we got that one. This one and this one, and those are actually registering as components right now, so we do not need to change those. Are these components? That's path 5, and you can see that over here. So this is component 10 and 11. Those are already components. We're We're not going to have to make those. We actually, we want to uncomponent those. So ungroup component. We're going to go ungroup component again. Object ungroup component. Because we want to be able to add those little tabs that we're going to need. Let's go ahead and build those tabs right now. So I'm going to zoom in to the page. There we go. And I'm going to draw my little tab to one side. I'm going to select the fill color to be our green screen. Get rid of the border. Oops, get rid of the border. And then I'm going to drag that to the other side of this one. The word differently is going to slide in from the right to the left, and sea life, very bad pun or play on words, I will have to admit, is going to slide in from the left to the right. So let's group each one of these together. Group that one there, Command G, group these two, hold the shift, select both of them, Command G. So now they're both groups, and then now we can actually make them into components. Command K and Command K. So we've got our components. We might want to zoom out a little bit. Whoa, zoomed in too much. Let's do, okay. We're on our sort of where we're going to land, where we're going to end up, where we want to be, because now our destination is now. We're going to scoot out a little bit. Got our sea life differently down here, and I think on these shapes, let's we can add some points to it. No, we cannot. Let's think about it for a second. Okay. Took a short break there to figure something out. When I first built this art, my idea was that this was going to be more of a footer at the bottom of the page. But now that I sort of think about it, I think I want this blue shape to also have a curve on the bottom. I'm going to take the pen tool, and I'm going to draw a new shape over the top. And don't worry if it's not perfect. The pen tool does take some practice. And I'm going to make, this is very similar to what we did with the mask. It's also very similar to the Pathfinder tool in Adobe Illustrator, if you're familiar with that. And I'm going to make sure this shape is selected, and then I'm going to take that blue wavy shape, and I'm going to go under Edit, Path, and I basically, they have words here instead of icons for the Pathfinder. I'm going to do subtract, and it'll delete the area behind the new shape that I drew. I'm going to click subtract, and there we go. We got a cool shape down here. Now we can finally turn these into components. Command K and Command K. There we go. And we will drag all of these components. Actually, we're going to copy and paste them to the other clipboard. Copy them, Command C, move to landing page 4, put them on landing page 4. There we go. So now we've got our point A here, and point B is going to end up being where destination unknown is. So what we want to do now is grab all of these pieces. We can actually delete her, I believe. Yes. We can drag all of these pieces up except for that navigation bar, remember, and get sea life differently up above the fold. Okay. And hopefully that works. It looks like it's working. You'll notice the up and down here, because it's not touching another page, I don't have to do here, because these little green, like if I move this and it touches another page from left to right, it's going to think it's going to get confused, XD, and it's not going to know what page it's on. But if there's enough gray area in between things or above or below, and there's an auto-animate on the page or on the shape, it will know what to do with it in theory. It doesn't always get it right. Again, it's using its own I guess it's like an AI, not an algorithm, to sort of figure out what you want to happen in between the two states that you have. So we got these two things here. Just differently, we want to pull all the way off the page to the left. And this is what I was talking about. If that screen bar wasn't here, when C Life hits this page here, it would suddenly jump over to that page. But since this green bar is attached to this original page, it knows that it needs to be. And this is a little hack that we figured out last quarter. It's a great little thing to know, particularly when you're like have things like really, really close together and are trying to get things to shift from off the page onto the page. And I will probably do a little single, like less than 5 minute tutorial on explaining exactly how to do that. That is not in a complex build like this one. So I think we've got our befores and afters, all of our states, everything's in play where we want it to end up. So now let's go into prototype mode. We're going to connect the two pages. I think we'll do the up arrow key again. So we'll check. Well, first we're going to get the keys and gamepad, and we'll use the up arrow. Now oops, that's wrong. The up arrow, there we go. Click off of that, click back onto this page. There we go, okay. Why is it not? Up arrow, return. There, oh no, delete. Yeah, this is where it's like, there we go, there we go. There we go, why is that? In prototype mode, up arrow. Oh, I didn't choose the artboard. Whoops. Artboard 4, Auto-Animate. We're going to do snap again. We'll do a duration of 3 seconds. Everything's in play. Everything looks good. And then we will play it and see what happens. Oh, destination did not do what I thought it would. So notice how destination just faded out versus moved up. That was because I pulled it off the artboard and it wasn't connected to the artboard. That is one of the weird things you'll see. So what I'm going to do is go back and fix that. Grab the hand and get out of prototype mode. And there, destination unknown is up there. I'm actually going to take these and I'm going to bring them down and sort of have them hidden behind the navigation bar. Yeah, let's slide nav all the way up to the top there. So, oh, and that one's also stuck there. I'm going to pull that one back there too. And then I'm going to pull the nav in front of that. It's a little bit of a hack here as well to get this to work properly. So let's play that again. Phase 1, phase 2. She scrolled in front of the navigation. We're going to have to move that to the beginning, pull that up. Oops, it disappeared. And we're going to have to go on each page now in the design phase and move nav all the way in front of everything else, just so that all works out nice and neat. Let's scroll over and start on page 1 of the flow. And actually on this page too, we're going to move nav all the way to the front. Okay, let's start here and see if everything's working. Up arrow. Cool beans. Cowabunga, dude. Very splashy. All right, it worked. We're going to turn off these green bars. let's scoot over. To kind of get this hand tool on, just press the shift bar key. I should probably said that like 10 hours ago. We're going to click this little green bar. There we go. Turn off the border. Pull the transparency down to 0. Turn off the border. Transparency down to 0. It actually changed it on this page, so we're not even going to have to change that page now. Kind of scoot this over, see how things look here. Things look good. Might even be able to take like these shapes here. Oops. Where did they go? They're there. I know I could make the yellow one fade out. We're not going to worry about it. This kind of gets you to, at some point you start just tweaking and tweaking. So let's play it one more time and see if it works. Let's actually go back to our starting point. Right over here. Press play. Up arrow key. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Cool. Now if we wanted, we could, like on my original one, drag the background in, move it behind everything else, copy and paste it to each page, move it to the back again. Maybe we want surfs up to become white on this page, so let's fill that, make it white like it was originally, so it'll kind of fade in. We'll go to page 3, put it in here. I actually really do, oops, let's see, Command V, there we go, put it in there, move it to the back again, put it in this page, move it to the back again. I think I really like the way the white background looked better, but this is just kind of show you that for me, adding the background in later was better than in the first time I did this when I was working out the issues with it. I had the background in there, up front, and it started getting confusing, made it hard to work and see what was going on. So sometimes you have to do things in a different order than you might really think about it. It takes a little practice to figure out the best way to build some of these things. So we're going to go back to our first page, and we're going to play it one more time. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. I think those actually went in front of the navigation bar again. Let's play it one more time. See if we got it right. That's working. That's working. Oh no, it was an optical illusion. Yeah, there it is. So that's a very, very complex animation sequence for a couple pages, but it shows you all the different parts. In the Envato demonstration, they break it down in chapters and have the individual parts and individual chapters. I'll post the link to that video, and I'll list which chapters show each of these. I'll also try to build some demonstrations of how to just break this down into the individual pieces of having something slide in from the side or fade in, and how to do a mask. But this shows you everything put together as if it was a real world project. So hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.